Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurudev Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatana Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Vidayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurati Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Brindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Kesavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishto Vishnupad, Paramahansasto Tarasata Sri Srila, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Lila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansasto Tarasata Sri Srila Swami Maharaj, and Nitya Lila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami. And my Dandavat Pranams to all of my Sri Sri Rupa Nuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavis. Okay, so now we are on verse 2 of Sri Upadeshamrita. And we probably read about 1/3 of Srila Prabhupada's purport. He has a bit of a lengthy purport. And it was very interesting to hear how Srila Prabhupada is applying the particular activity called Atyahara. Atyahara. The list of 6 things that are unfavorable for bhakti. So Srila Prabhupada was actually, as he usually does, with an entire world view. He's analyzing how the whole world and the current situation of the world is suffering because of Atyahara. And what does Atyahara mean? It means overeating. This is the way it's mentioned in the translation. It means overeating or overcollecting. So, as we study these 6 items from the viewpoint of our acharyas, whose commentaries we are reading, then we'll get a very, very deep understanding and very deep perspective on these 6. How they keep the conditioned soul in illusion by performing them, and how they destroy the efforts of someone to try to come into the pathway of bhakti. If someone is not careful, and someone is not very cautious, then gradually there can be some deviation. And as that deviation takes place, as these 6 are being performed by the devotee, what happens? Bhakti goes down. Bhakti is destroyed. So therefore, it is very necessary that devotees should be quite aware of what these 6 unfavorable activities are, so that they can avoid them. And then, after this verse, will come the 3rd shloka, where Rupa Goswami is telling what are the 6 favorable activities. So very essential. You know, in this song, O He Vaishnava Thakura, what are we praying for to Sri Vaishnava Thakur, to the great pure devotees? Uttam Mahabhagavats. This is a song not to ordinary devotees. This is a song to Vaishnava Thakur, who are transcendental completely in this world. And we want their mercy. So we sing, O He Vaishnava Thakura, Doyara Sagara, Edase Karuna Kori. Oh, you are an ocean of mercy, O Vaishnava Thakur. And this servant of yours, Edase, is praying, Karuna Kori, please be merciful to me. And then what's the next line? Yes. Diya Padachaya, Shoda He Amai. Tomara Charana Dori. Diya Padachaya means please give me that shelter, that Shoda He Amai, and purify me. Purify me. Tomara Charana Dori. I am holding on to your lotus feet. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, Chaya Bega Dami, Chaya Dosha Shodhi, Chaya Guna Deho Dase, Chaya Satsanga Deho He Amari, Bosechi Sangera Ashi. What is he now praying for? These 4 groups of 6 in the first 4 verses of Sri Upanishad. First of all, Chaya Vega Dami. Help me to subdue these 6 urges that we've studied in the first verse. Chaya Vega Dami. Chaya Dosha Shodhi. Purify me of the 6 faults. Dosha. Current verse that we're studying. Chaya Guna Dehodase. Please bestow upon me the 6 good qualities of the favorable activities for bhakti. And Chaya Satsanga Deho He Amari. Please give these to me. Please bestow these upon me. Bosechi Sangera Ashe. I am sitting near to you. Bosechi Sangera Ashe. I am sitting near you with this hope in my heart, with this asha. So, it is through the agency only of the pure Uttam Mahabhagavat Vaishnavas. And in some cases, of course, so this mercy. Without this, it's not possible. Without the mercy of the pure Vaishnavas, it is not possible. And if someone becomes very careless and unfortunate, and they actually commit severe Vaishnava parad against such personalities, their bhakti will be totally destroyed. So it is indispensable to have the shelter of the pure Vaishnavas. So, what are the four types of association? What verse is that one? The four types of saintly association. The six types of saintly association. In the fourth verse, I was thinking of four because it's the fourth verse. The fourth group that is prayed for.
Inquiring and hearing.
What's the Sanskrit? Dadati pratigrinnati guhyam akyati prichati bhunkte bojayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. Rupa Goswami is writing that these are the symptoms, the lakshan of priti, love and affection, that is shared between the Vaishnavas. So, dadati means to give something to such pure Vaishnavas. Pratigrinnati means to receive their prasadam, what they want to give to you. Guhyam akyati prichati. Guhyam means confidential. Guhyam. To confidentially inquire and also to confidentially reveal one's own heart. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained that what constitutes sangha, association? Does it mean only bodily nearness? Yeah. But suppose that, because we are also told, jana sangascha lolyamcha, we have to also give up jana sangha, unfavorable and bad association. But when we say sangha, what constitutes the sangha? What actually constitutes the sangha? If you're actually associating with someone, what constitutes that?
We're already saying that it's an Uttam Bhagavad, Uttam Mahabhagavad. What is constituting sangha when you're associated with Uttam Bhagavad?
But not only with the Uttam, but with anyone. When you say you're in bad association or you're in good association, but being in that association, what determines whether or not you're actually associating? Does it mean that you don't see the person?
You're inquiring submissively.
You're inquiring about bhajan and...
Suppose that you're in bad association, right? In your life you have certain things that you have a job or this or that, and you have to associate with persons who are in the category of very materialistic persons and so forth, right? So, will that be detrimental to your bhakti?
Well, it's those 6 items. If there's an exchange of those 6 items, then you're associating with them.
Yes, that's correct. And particularly the second, in the category of the 6 exchanges, the second 2 principles.
So you don't,
Guhyam akyati prichati.
so you don't reveal
Yes.
confidential things in your heart.
Yes, this is what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, and you don't hear from them their revealing. That constitutes association. But just to talk with them, there is no harm in that to your bhakti. But when you guhyam akyati prichati with such persons. So when we do that with the most exalted, pure personalities, and of course those topics will be directly concerning our spiritual advancement in bhakti and so forth, then that is very powerful. Guhyam, confidentially hearing. That means attending the Harikatha of the great Vaishnavas, hearing from them. It also means having personal exchange with them and inquiring submissively, like Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Pariprashna. It also means that. And it also means sometimes revealing to Sri Guru, oh Gurudev, I am so fallen in this way and I'm struggling in this way. Gurudev encouraged not to hide anything from Guru. Nothing to hide from Guru. Then Guru can come and help you. But if someone is hiding, concealing, trying to conceal, actually they can't in front of the Mahabhagavat. Actually, it's not possible to actually conceal because he can see everything. So, Guhyam Akyati Prichati and then Bhukte Bojayate Chaiva. Now we again come to the sharing of Mahaprashadam. See how important Mahaprashadam is? Yes, we had quite a discussion in that one class about Sharira Vijajal and Mahaprashadam and how important that is in our spiritual life. So, yes, Bhukte Bojayate Chaiva. To provide Mahaprashadam to a great Vaishnava, to serve them. And then, Vijayate, to receive their Prashadam remnants. Very powerful. So, Rupa Goswami has listed these six. We'll read about that later when we come to that verse, but just one thing that Prabhupada mentions in his purport is that actually for forming relationships in this world, even like he gives an example of two businessmen who meet together, right? That, what will they do? Like, for example, some international businessman is coming and they meet them at the airport, right? And then they bring them, where do they bring them? They bring them to the restaurant and feed, right? They give also some gift. They give some gift. And then they do business together, right? So he says this is the basis of all relationships. This is the basis. But when we do that with the pure Vaishnavas and with Vaishnavas in general, then Priti Lakshanam, Sadvidam Priti Lakshanam. These are the symptoms of love and affection. Priti. And that love and affection between the Vaishnavas also is very favorable for our development of love and affection with the Supreme Lord and His pure devotees. So, now we'll continue reading the purport. I'm just going to go over the universal vision that Srila Prabhupada had in his commentary here before we continue forward. So he's saying about how collecting and eating more than necessary also causes prayas, which is the second item, or unnecessary endeavor. So by God's arrangement, anyone in any part of the world can live very peacefully. If he has some land and a milk cow, there is no need for man to move from one place to another to earn a livelihood, for one can produce food grains locally and get milk from cows. That can solve all economic problems. Fortunately, man has been given higher intelligence for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness, or the understanding of God and one's relationship with Him, and the ultimate goal of life, love of God. Man has been given higher intelligence for this cultivation of Krishna consciousness. But unfortunately, so-called civilized man not caring for God realization, utilizes his intelligence to get more than necessary and simply eat to satisfy the tongue. By God's arrangement, there is sufficient scope for the production of milk and grains for human beings all over the world. But instead of using his higher intelligence to cultivate God consciousness, so-called intelligent men misuse their intelligence to produce many unnecessary and unwanted things. Thus, factories, slaughterhouses, brothels, and liquor shops are opened. I remember hearing Prabhupada explaining on tape one time about this scourge in the human society of factory. Like especially when the industrial era first started, and his horrific conditions that the people are working under in factories. Horrible sounds, smells, darkness, just ugh. And therefore, Prabhupada was explaining that because the people are suffering so much, therefore, on every corner where they come out from the huge, gigantic factory, what's there? A brothel and a liquor place, right? Because they got to get relief somehow, right? So this creates this unwanted situation. Like Prabhupada, he's just simply telling it is not needed at all. What is going on is absolutely prayash. That's what he's getting to here. Over-endeavor, right? And over-collecting. So, he said, if people are advised not to collect too many goods, work unnecessarily to possess artificial amenities, well, they think that they are being advised to return to a primitive way of life. Generally, people do not like to accept plain living and high thinking. That is their unfortunate position. So human life is meant for God realization. And the human being is given higher intelligence for this purpose. Those who believe that this higher intelligence is meant to attain a higher state, they should follow the instructions of the Vedic literatures. That's what's needed. By taking such instructions from higher authorities, one can actually become situated in perfect knowledge and give real meaning to life. Nowadays, in the current times, there's a lot of people who tend towards God, and they tend towards goodness, and they feel, that with their intelligence, they're trying to understand the purpose of our existence. I've watched people coming together with conferences and so forth, just like in Denmark, I just watched one. And how they're speaking. And, you can see that, they're trying to figure it all out. What's going on and why are we in this condition? And they're really bringing it down to the level of our own personal existence. But yet, they lack the actual knowledge of, first of all, the Atma. That's the big one. That's the big one. Because unless they receive that knowledge of the existence of the eternal soul, they can't figure it out. It's the missing link. They can't just figure it out for themselves. To some extent, they can begin to understand through Gyan. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj explained this. the jiva, coming from Tatastha Shakti, he has a particular adhikar, right? He has a certain level of qualification that he can realize Brahman through jnana, without bhakti. That is there as the constitutional right of a jivatma. Because we emanate from the Tatastha Shakti. So, therefore we see that the first stages where someone is trying to understand the absolute truth, generally it's impersonal. Impersonal, right? And they try to understand through nature and so forth. And this is tending toward the mode of goodness. But unless and until they receive the knowledge coming from the Vedas, which is the absolute truth, they will still be in quandary. They will not be able to understand because there are certain laws of nature. All right? And that law, that subtle law that keeps the living entities bound to accepting material bodies, that subtle law is the law that we very well know as devotees, the law of karma. Everything in the universe is going on by this law of karma. Huh? Yeah. And also time, kala. So the five subject matters Prabhupada was explaining in his Bhagavad Gita introduction. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, or Karma, and Kala. And of these, 4 of them are eternal. And 1 is temporary, the Karma. Maharaj knows. He's given many, many Gita classes over many years. Again and again, going through Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita.
Love it.
Yeah? It is never tiring. Yeah. And always relevant. Always relevant. So I was watching this person, and you can tell. And he's telling his story, how he was gradually definitely coming. Because it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time period, okay? And he himself is calling to every jiva. What is Mahaprabhu's message to every jiva? Jeev jago! Jeev jago! Gaura Chandra bole. Koto nidra jao maya pisha chirakole. Enechio shodhi maya nashi baralagi. No, there's another verse before that. How is it? Was it? Yeah. Bojibo bolio eshe samsara vitori. Bhuliya rohile tumi avidyara mori. Mahaprabhu is telling to the jivas that Bojibo bolio eshe samsara vitori. That means when you, O jiva, when you entered into this world, and you came out from the womb of your mother into this world, and even before that, while you were in the womb, you made a promise. What was that promise? Bhajibo. Bhajibo means, I will worship you. Bhajibo bolia. You said those words. I will worship you. Bhajibo bolia eshe samsara vitore. When you came into this samsara, when you entered from the womb of your mother. So, but now what has happened? Bhuliya rohile tumi avidyara mori. You have forgotten this promise. And you have become completely immersed in avidya. But I have good news for you. Enechio shodhimaya nashibaralagi. I have come bringing for you the medicine that will wipe out Maya, Nashi Baralagi. And what is that? Harinam Maha Mantra Lao to me, Magi. Now you pray for this Harinam Mahamantra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to really wake up all the jivas. And this is the only way to wake up. There is no other way to wake up. Only through the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this Kali Yuga can someone actually wake up and realize Jiver Swarupa Hoy Krishner Nityadas. Every jiva is eternal servant of Krishna. And they have this eternal relationship. So that knowledge is what is needed right now and at all times, but especially in very critical times. People are very confused. They don't know what is happening. They have tried to take shelter of the materialistic lifestyle for their whole lives, and now they see that things are being denied and changed, and they're very confused, very bewildered, very much fear, suffering. But some persons are becoming emboldened. This person I was watching, because he's going towards the spiritual. And you can tell that that person has not yet gotten the access to the full knowledge and the full picture. But he's the kind of person that has now, he's like firmly fixed, do or die, you know. So, this is the real shift and change that is now taking place. And it's going to go on for years now. And the whole situation is going to be adjusted in a very positive way. Yes. The Padmanabha Goswami Maharaj also told that. This is the time now. See? So, human life is meant for God realization. And the human being is given higher intelligence for this purpose. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jiva Ki. Those who believe that this higher intelligence is meant to attain a higher state, those persons should follow the instructions of the Vedic literatures. By taking such instructions from higher authorities, then one can actually become situated in perfect knowledge and give real meaning to life. How broad-reaching all this Prabhupada's purports. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter, 9th verse, Sri Suta Goswami describes the proper human dharma in this way. You see, probably most of you don't know this shloka. Dharmasya hi. Huh? There you go. Okay. Okay. Narto artai upakalpate nartasya dharma aikantasya kamo labhaya hi smrita. So, remember, this is in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam. It's the 2nd chapter, which Gurudev has told is practically one of the most important chapters of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. That group of verses of Suta Goswami's first response, his answers to the questions of the sages, puts everything into perspective. Because they're also asking about Dharma. That's one of the main topics that they're asking about in the 1st chapter. And they want to know, what is the highest Dharma by which the Atma can become fully satisfied. So, now he's discussing the topic of Dharma. So, Dharmasya hi apavargasya. He's saying that all occupational engagements, that's the term being used for the word Dharma, occupational engagements. Dharmasya. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. That's what it's meant for. The term being used here for liberation is apavarga. Apavarga. Apavarga means the opposite of pavarga. There's a very interesting way that Srila Prabhupada explained the word pavarga. Do you remember?
Oh, pa.
Yes. 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 Pavarga. It actually has a dual meaning because varga, pavarga, is in the Sanskrit alphabet. Because each line is called a varga. So pa-varga means the syllable pa. So, but in that line of the syllable pa, that line which is called the varga, right? There's pa, then pa, ph, ba, and pa, bh, then ma. Five letters in that line of the Sanskrit alphabet. So, Varga, the word Varga also means pathway. Varga, like we say our Guru Varga, the pathway of our gurus. But it also has this meaning, right? So Prabhupada is explaining the word Pavarga from this verse. And how does he explain it? Do you remember how he does that?
It's just over endeavoring, just giving all your energy for nothing, just for and sense gratification.
Yeah. So each one of these syllables is representing a word, an ass. Right? Like Prabhupada is talking here. This culture of working very hard and over-endeavoring and all of that, right? They work like an ass. So then, after working very hard like an ass, then what happens? Pa. Ph. Meaning, pena. Foaming at the mouth. Because when you see a donkey, we're working very hard, foam comes from their mouth. So pa. Then ba. The result of that work, what's the end result of that work? Byata. Byata. Means no result. Means, what's the word? Yeah, for you don't gain anything. You work so hard, you foam at the mouth, and then?
For naught.
Yeah, for naught. There's another word, I can't think of it right now. So, byata. Pa. Then what results from all this? Bhaya. Fear. So much fear. And then, after that, ma. Ma means mrityu, death. This is the pathway of material endeavor, and these are the results of it. Pavarga. Okay? Never heard that before. So,
lot condensed in there.
Yeah, but the word used here is apavarga, which means the opposite of pavarga. It means liberation from this. Okay? So dharmasya hi apavargasya. Sutta Goswami is saying, the main purpose of any occupational duty is for ultimate liberation from pavarga. That's the purpose of dharma. And he says, narto arthaya upakalpate. That means they should never be used for what? Material gain. Yeah. Which results in sense gratification. They should.
And a beautiful verse before that.
Right, what is it?
Dharmaspanas takunsan.
Vishvaksena Katha suya notpadayad yadi ratim shrama evahi kevalam. See, there's the shrama.
Yes.
Means nothing but hard labor.
Nothing but hard labor.
Yes. If one has not developed ruchi for the topics of the Supreme Lord, then all of his occupational performing, everything is just shrama, useless labor. Right. Thank you for saying that. So, narata artai upakalpate. These occupational engagements are not meant for resulting simply in material gain for sense gratification. Furthermore, nartasya dharma aikantasya kamo labhaya hi smritaha. Furthermore, one who is engaged in this ultimate occupational service, he should never use that material gain, kamo labhaya hi smritaha, to cultivate sense gratification. So the whole, very clear, what is dharma, how to utilize it, how it is misused, how it will entangle you, or how ultimately you can gain liberation, he's telling. So now Prabhupada is commenting. The first step in human civilization consists of occupational engagements performed according to the scriptural injunctions. That's the first step in all human civilization, right? I mean, even the whole communist philosophy. What was, even though that's coming from the mode of ignorance, Prabhupada said, but what was their ethic of the whole communist philosophy? Hammer and sickle. Meaning what? Work. Work. I was telling the other day, when we were at the lunch table, about how between Kartik and Gaur-Purnima, they go on Bengal Prachar, which your son has done and so many of our younger ones have done. And I did it way back in 1977, okay, with a boat on the Ganga. And we lived by begging at their houses and doing kirtan, They gave rice, they gave dal. So they do that. So Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshavaraj was down in the south of Bengal, right near to where it starts to meet the ocean. And in that area, there's a lot of islands, and it's like, becomes a little swampy, and it's called the Sundarbans. It's a jungle area. They even have gigantic 10-foot-long Bengal tigers there, which from time to time visit your village and eat up one of the people, So anyway, he was there, and this is during the rainy season when everything was starting to flood, because it floods a lot there, like even in Mayapur. They get, from time to time, over certain years, they'll get quite big floods. You ever been there during the flood?
Oh, yes.
Ah, okay. Yes. I haven't been there during the flood. But I've seen the pictures and the videos and the whole thing. So anyway, he was down there. And this, while they were there, they were doing kirtan and amongst the people. And while they were there, this communist government leader, forget his name, he came there and he confronted. Who are you? He had his government people with him. And then Bhakti Pragyan Keshavaraj said, we are from Sri Devananda Gaudiya Math of Navadvip Dham, west in Nadia district. We have come here. Oh, then he said, well, what is your purpose for being here? We've come here to collect grains and so forth for our upcoming Navadvip Dham Parikrama, where many thousands of people will come. How do you go? We need another comfortable chair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I don't need a chair.
Yeah, you
Thank
do.
you.
We don't allow the old ones to do too much austerity in this temple.
I prefer the word written on the old.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No. Come, please. Sit down. We provided. Krishna has provided, not we. It was just the last 10 minutes of our class here. So, so Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj answered in that way, right? And he said, we have come to collect. And then that person became quite nasty. And he said, what are you doing? You lazy people. Can't you see that there's been a flood here? And the whole place has been ravished, and you're coming here to beg from these people? So then Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj said, flood? What flood? I don't see any flood. In fact, the cigarette in your hand has not even been extinguished. You're talking about a flood. But yes, there is a flood coming. The final devastation. We have come here to save these jivas from that flood. You know, that's how bold Param Gurudev was, you know. And then he started to say, what is this? You know, the real thing is work ethic, right? And then Bhakti Pragyan Keshav says to him, yes, there have been many persons who have advocated the same philosophy as you. In many, many yugas. Persons like Ravana and Hiras of the work ethic. But they met their end at the hands of Bhagavan, and so will you. You know? You ever read that? It's fantastic. Param Gurudev. So, yeah. So the first step in human civilization consists of occupational engagements performed according to the scriptural injunctions. The higher intelligence of a human being should be trained to understand basic dharma. That's what the higher intelligence of the human being is meant for. To understand basic dharma. In human society, there are various religious conceptions characterized as Hindu, Christian, Hebrew, Mohammedan, Buddhist, and so on. For without religion, human society is no better than animal society. That's the whole basis of human civilization. It is dharma, religion. So as stated above, Prabhupada is now commenting on that verse. He said, Dharmasya hyapavargasya narto artaya upakalpate. As stated above, religion is meant for attaining emancipation, not for getting bread. Sometimes human society manufactures a system of so-called religion aimed at material advancement, but that is far from the purpose of true dharma. Religion entails understanding the laws of God. That's what religion entails, understanding the laws of God. Because the proper execution of these laws ultimately leads one out of material entanglement. That is the true purpose of religion. Unfortunately, people accept religion for material prosperity because of ati ahara. Here we go. He's again applying this on the world scale. The first item in the 6, ati ahara. He says, unfortunately, people accept religion for material prosperity because of ati ahara, or an excessive desire for such prosperity. True religion, however, instructs people to be satisfied with the bare necessities of life while cultivating Krishna consciousness. Even though we require economic development, true religion allows it only for supplying the bare necessities of material existence. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. What's the meaning of that? Jivasya tattva jigyasa.
One must know
But what does jivasya mean? No, it means
Wake up.
human life. Jivasya tattva jigyasa.
The duty
The
of
human life is meant for inquiring about tattva, the absolute truth. That's the purpose of the jiva, human life. Yeah, you know. No, we're doing this in our classes. We're very, very exacting, trying to understand the meaning of the words exactly, So, jivasya tattva jigyasa. The real purpose of life is to inquire about the absolute truth. If our endeavor, if our prayasa, now comes that word, prayasa, if our endeavor is not to inquire about the absolute truth, then we will simply increase our endeavor to satisfy our artificial needs. You have to do one or the other. A spiritual aspirant should avoid mundane endeavor too much. So I'll just make one comment, because Prabhupada said here that, religion is meant for attaining emancipation, not for getting. Because Prabhupada would often refer to the Lord's Prayer, in which they're being taught to pray for
give us our
daily bread. Right. So, the communist takeover of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, Prabhupada explained, how did they do that? How did they take over this vast, vast region with this communist philosophy, and then institute that and bring everybody completely under control of that? How did they do that? He said what they did was they had one little book. What was it called? The Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx, right? That was their Bible, right? And they wanted to replace God and the Bible with God, right? And they wanted to convince everybody that they should embrace this, because this is the highest position for the human beings, human society. And this is the greatest philosophy how we should live in this world. So up till now, you people, what they did was they came with truckloads. Truckloads of what? Bread. And bread is a big thing in Russia, let me tell you. And bread is like all in all. And so they came into the villages where the people, they were not doing very well. And they said, so, we are your communist friends. We are your comrades. We have come here to help you. And we are going to supply to you your needs. So, but you should see that actually we are the real providers. So, now, first of all, you need bread. You need bread. So, go ahead now and pray to your God, oh God, please give us bread. And see what happens. The Prabhupada is describing this whole thing. And he says, so they pray to God, oh God, give us your bread. And then the communists stand there and they say, so, did you get bread? No. So then, now you ask for us. Oh, my dear communist comrade friends, please give us bread. Yes, yes, come. They open up their truck and they give bread. So in this way, they converted. But then Prabhupada says, what kind of intelligence did those people have? That all they had to do was say to them, well, my dear communist friend, where did you get the bread from? Where did you get it from?
God sent you.
Yes, exactly. So that's the thing. If our endeavor in the human form of life, if our prayasa is not to inquire about the absolute truth, then we will simply increase our endeavor to satisfy our artificial needs. So a spiritual aspirant should avoid mundane endeavor. So that completes our discussion for today. And for tomorrow will come the third item in this verse, which is called prajalpa. That's a big one. So after we've read Prabhupada's purport, then we'll be reading the other 3 purports and then we will read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation from his articles, an entire article on each one of these. 12 different, which is included in our Madhurya Kadambini. 12 different items, 6 favorable, 6 unfavorable, and he's written an entire article, entire chapter on each one of these. So Srila Prabhupada has brought this understanding of the Upadeshamrita not just to our application in the path of bhakti, but also how this applies even within human society. and the entire world is suffering because of performing these 6 unfavorable activities. Gaur Premanandi. Jai Shri Shri Upadeshamritam ki jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai. Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Vanisha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhuve Vachapatikam Om Vishwayo.
Hare
Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Nitya Priya Pravishtam Vishnupad Astotra Satta Srila Bhakti Daita Maharaj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Nitya Priya Pravishtam Vishnupad Astotra Satta Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Jai Shri Nitya Priya Pravishtam Vishnupad Astotra Satta Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Shri Nitya Liga Pavishta Om Vishnu Parasto Srila Srila Bhakti Pragyan Srila Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Nitya Liga Pavishta Om Vishnu Parasto Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Nitya Liga Pavishta Om Vishnu Parasto Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Shri Parama Bhagavat Padmanabha Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Saptam Goswami Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Srila Baladev Bhushan Prabhu ki jai. Jai Shri Rasa Acharya Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Chai ki jai. Jai Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Jai Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Jai Shri Sarup Damdar Rai Ramanandadi Shri Gaur Parshvinda ki jai. Jai Shri Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Jai Shri Antadip Mayapur Samantadip Godrumajip Madhudip Koldip Rudajip Janadip Modadrumajip Rudratmatmaka Shinavadip Dham ki jai. Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Govardhan Dvaramsaka Shri Rajmandhala ki jai. Jai Shri Radha Kunda Sham Kunda Gangi Muna Tulasi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Jai Shri Vrinda Devi ki jai. Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Gopishwar Mahadeva ki jai. Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsingareva Bhagavan ki jai. Bhakta Prabhashi Pulad Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhaja Sudarshan Chakravarti ki jai. Jai Shri Charidam Charisampradaya Charya ki jai. Jai Shri Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Grantaraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai Shri Hari Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Jai Shri Sadhu Sangha ki jai. Jai Shri Yuga Avatar Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jai Shri Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Dai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Srimati Tulsi Maharaj ki jai. Om Vrindayi Tulsi Devai Priyai Krishna Sitya
Namo Namo Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namo Tulasi Krishna Nitya Seva Neya Vilasi Yetoma Sharanana Krishna Seva Krishna Kori Koro Tare Vrindavanavasi Tomara Charane Dori More Anugata Kori Gora Hari Maya Krishna